So I had a conversation with my wife one day. This was way, way early on. This is maybe like episode three. And up to that point, I would send her the podcast before I put them out and say, "Hey, baby, just let me know what you think." First one, good information, good, it's good. Second one, hey, this is good, this is really good. The third one, she told me, "Nah, this ain't it." And pride, just that split second, my thought was, "What do you know? You don't do this." That was my thought. I didn't say anything. But after I got over my feelings, then what I did was I took those corrective actions and I trashed that podcast episode and I had to go back and then do it all over again. Because again, the point of me putting out the information is to make sure that it's consumable, make sure it makes sense. And based on her feedback, it wasn't it. So what did I have to do? I could either be prideful and say, "What do you know? I'm putting the information out there anyway." But then what happens? Nobody consumes the information because it's trash. So pride will tell you that you don't have a problem. Pride will tell you that it's fine. But if your why is to do X thing, and then the feedback that you're getting is helping you do X thing, then you got to take the feedback and you got to run with it. But um, the problem is a lot of times the older we get, the more set in our ways we get, which is another form of pride, right? So if that's you and you are one of those people who are set in their ways, just know that you don't know everything. And you will not be able to grow if people can't tell you anything, especially those people who love you, who are pouring into you, who are trying to make you better as a person. And I'll tell you something, once you get over your feelings of the hurt and just being thin-skinned, then you'll realize that this person has a point. You'll realize that this person is not trying to hurt me. This person is trying to pour into me to make me better.
Run that back, Toretto.
Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 53. 53, a year and a week. Bruh. Um, this is a big deal for me. Just starting something new, starting something that's going to, again, get me out of my comfort zone and share information that's going to help people. That's my purpose. My purpose, and I shared it on maybe the second, third episode, was my purpose. My purpose is to help people. And just getting this information out of hope is not that hard to budget and build wealth, and just getting that message out of hope is the goal. Also on this podcast, we talk about faith, family, obviously finances as well, and anything that's going to help you grow as a human being on your way to the M's, because we're getting to them M's. So if you are a new listener, thank you so much for your time. If you are a returned listener or watcher of this podcast, depending on how you're consuming it, I just want to say thank you. This has been an unbelievable year, man. Um, just a couple different highlights. We paid our house off. First of all, I started the podcast. That's the number one highlight. Paid our house off back in November. We're able now to invest at a very rapid pace, and then just build our portfolio up and just grow. Learning different things about myself, things that I didn't know, like issues and areas of opportunity, we'll call them, not issues, areas of opportunity. And just learning just more about myself and just things that I don't know and areas where I need to grow as a person. So hopefully you guys are on this journey with me to grow, because at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do. So in that same vein, uh, we're going to talk about some things that are going to probably strike a nerve with some people. As I was kind of writing some notes down and things of that nature, it struck a nerve with me, and kind of how I got to this point a year and a week later from starting this podcast. Today, we're going to talk about pride. Pride to me is a silent killer. A lot of us deal with pride every day, and we have to learn how to kill pride. So we're going to talk about that as well. If you are a prideful person, chances are you're not growing. Meaning that if you're prideful, people can't tell you anything because you know it all. And although you may know a few things, you don't know everything. And again, if you're trying to grow, we're going to have to identify pride and kill it. We're going to have to, right? So today we're going to talk about me and some different challenges that I faced, some things that I overcame, and again, things that I overcame that helped me get to a year and a week of doing this podcast and helping me be consistent and things of that nature. So on my podcasting journey, personally, when I first started, I had to take a lot of different feedback. There was a lot of feedback I had to take. If you've looked at the first podcast, you'll realize how awful it was. The way my camera was angled and the lighting wasn't good. You saw like half my shirt. It was nuts. But I knew in myself that if I didn't start and I didn't do it ugly, then chances are I would get analysis paralysis and I just would never start. So I really didn't care how I started, because I knew that that's not where I was going to finish. I just needed to start. And once I put the information out there, people was telling me, hey, the information is great, but here are some areas of opportunities for you. You can angle your camera a different way. And then I did that. I did step one that people told me, they gave me the feedback. Then I got more feedback. Hey, why don't you change the lighting a little bit and get some lights and things like that? So I did that. Got more feedback. Hey, well, why don't you try to get a different camera? I did that. Then I got more feedback. So I'm saying all that to say that if you are trying to grow in an area of your life, you're going to have to take feedback. Again, you do not know everything. And although you may take um, feedback from people who are not in the same lane as you, so meaning that you may get feedback. So for me, for the podcast, I got feedback from people who are not podcasters. However, these are people who are consuming the information that I'm giving them. So if I want people to consume the information as best as possible, it will behoove me to take that information and run with it and make the corrective actions to make it better, so it's more consumable for them. Because if they feel like that, how many other people may feel the same way? So if you're in a service-based business, I'm here to tell you that your surroundings are going to tell you everything that you need to know. I think I got that from The Alchemist. Love that book, man. It's a fire book. Anyway, So your surroundings are going to tell you everything that you need to know. So if you're in a service-based business and you're providing a service for customers, and say your business is slow, or say you're a podcaster and maybe you're not getting as many views or engagement, uh, it would make sense for you to reach out to the people who love you, who you can receive feedback from. Because again, we don't know everything. So to make your content or to make your service better, it would make sense for you to reach out to those people who are going to give you the feedback that you need, and they're not trying to cut you, if that makes sense. So get that information and then run with the feedback. Take the baby steps to get where you need to be. Because again, um, at the end of the day, you have to think about the end goal. So during I do budget classes, right? So the very first question I ask the people I'm doing budget classes with, or the groups, or if I'm doing a one-on-one, I'll ask, what is your why? So the why is going to help drive you in the direction that you want to go in. So if my why of doing this podcast is getting information out, I want people to consume the information, then it would make sense for me to get the information or get the feedback from the people who are consuming the information I'm giving, and make the corrective actions to make it better, and make it more consumable. So if you're in a service-based business, then it would make sense, if you're not as busy as you like to be in your business, to get that feedback, and ask those people who are consuming your information, hey, how can I get better? Or is there any areas of opportunity for me to get better? And if there are, make sure that you take the corrective actions to get better. Because at the end of the day, it all depends on what your why is, right? My why is to help people. If I'm putting out good information, but it's not consumable, then if somebody's giving me the information of getting better, then it will make sense for me to take those corrective actions. So hopefully that makes sense. So along this journey, and we're going to talk about me right now. Along this journey, I had to take feedback from my loved ones, right? So I had a conversation with my wife one day. This was way, way early on. This is maybe like episode 3. And up to that point, I would send her the podcast before I put them out. I say, hey, baby, just let me know what you think. First one, good information, good. It's good. Second one, hey, this is good. This is really good. The third one, she told me, nah, this ain't it. And pride, just that split second, my thought was, what do you know? You don't do this. That was my thought. I didn't say anything. But after I got over my feelings, then what I did was I took those corrective actions and I trashed that podcast episode, and I had to go back and then do it all over again. Because again, the point of me putting out the information is to make sure that it's consumable, make sure it makes sense. And based on her feedback, it wasn't it. So what did I have to do? I could either be prideful and say, what do you know? I'm putting the information out there anyway. But then what happens? Nobody consumes the information because it's trash. So pride will tell you that you don't have a problem. Pride will tell you that it's fine. But if your why is to do X thing, and then the feedback that you're getting is helping you do X thing, then you got to take the feedback and you got to run with it. But um the problem is, a lot of times the older we get, the more set in our ways we get, which is another form of pride, right? So if that's you and you are one of those people who are set in their ways, just know that you don't know everything. And you will not be able to grow if people can't tell you anything, especially those people who love you, who are pouring into you, who are trying to make you better as a person. And I'll tell you something, once you get over your feelings of the hurt and just being thin-skinned, then you'll realize that this person has a point. You'll realize that this person is not trying to hurt me. This person is trying to pour into me to make me better. What's going on, family? This is Che Willis from Wealth as a Journey podcast. I don't know if you guys know, but I help families who are living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. If this is you or you know somebody, go to wealthisajourney.com to book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other for either budgeting, or if you're a beginner investor, again, you can book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other. Again, wealthisajourney.com, wealthisajourney.com. Let's get back to the episode. So hopefully that example made sense. Also, in that same vein again, in 2024, I said it's up. And it is. But again, the why is just being better. The why is helping people. The why is being able to pour into people. And 2024 for me is up, right? But it's also how can I be better? And then also I'm living uncomfortable. That's the zone that I'm living in. I'm living in the uncomfortable zone. So when opportunities come to me, and where, say, 2 years ago, it would have been, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm facing things head on because I'm trying to get better. So if you're trying to get better, you need to look for areas of opportunity that you can possibly get better in, and you got to face them head on. Because if you don't, what'll happen is you will remain the same. You can't want to change and stay the same. Shout out to my guy Jay Star, who penned that phrase. You can't want to change and then stay the same, and a lot of us want to do that and think that our change is going to come by osmosis. It doesn't work like that. If you want to change, you got to take the corrective actions to change. Anyway, so as far as me being uncomfortable, I'm in the morning meetup. Shout out to the morning meetup. Shout out to David Shands. We had a session a few weeks ago, and they said, hey, well, if you want to go over what you offer your customers, what you offer your clients, come to the stage. So basically it's a virtual call. So I get on there, I'm happy. Yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm confident. So I get up there and I say my piece. And the feedback that I got was like, nah, fam, that ain't it. So I could be prideful and say, nah, what do y'all know? Or I could say, guys, thank you so much for your feedback. I appreciate you being able to pour into me and take the corrective actions to get better. So that whole weekend, I was in the lab working on the things that I'm offering to clients, to customers, to prospects. And the feedback that I got was, you need to be a little bit more excited. You need to give me a little bit more information about what I'm going to receive and different things of that nature. and I took the feedback and I ran with it. So I worked on it for hours during the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Um, I get on a call, I think that Tuesday morning, and I'm debating how I'm going to put the information out because I'm getting analysis paralysis, like I mentioned earlier, and I'm tweaking the video here, I'm tweaking the video there, and what ended up happening is I was slowly talking myself out of putting the video out. Nah, this is it's good, but it's not good enough. And what I realized, I had an opportunity to talk to Dave and say, hey, I did work on content and so forth and so on. And he's like, hey, let's take a look at it. Again, calling me to the stage in front of everybody on the call. So I put the video up and we're all watching it. And as I'm watching it, I'm feel like I'm shrinking back in my shell because as I'm watching it, I'm seeing the reactions and I'm like, oh man, this ain't it. But what Dave told me, he told me to put the information out anyway. He gave me some feedback, some constructive criticism, and I appreciate that. And the people in the chat gave me constructive feedback, and I appreciate that because the goal is for me to try to get better. So what I did was, they gave me the feedback, and for that split second again, for actually a few minutes, Dave told me to put the information out anyway, which I did. I put the information out. I uploaded it on Instagram. I put the information out. I did it ugly. And I had anxiety for like 15, 20 minutes. I was anxious. And I'm telling myself to take it down. Take the information down. But then I said to myself, why? Like you're not perfect. Okay. People make mistakes and people do, where you start is not where you're going to finish. So your pride again will stop you from growing, whether you know it or not. It'll stop you from taking the feedback and feeling like the people who are giving you the feedback are against you. Now, again, you have to recognize and understand who's giving you the feedback. And if those people love you and they want the best for you and they want to see you succeed, then those are the people that you can receive from. And you're going to have haters out there and they're going to give you negative feedback, and you have to understand where you're getting the information from. But the people I receive information from are my loved ones, the people who want to see me win, right? So those are the things that happened to me. But now, what are you facing? What challenges are you facing? Are you facing challenges of that you're not good at presenting, but what are you doing about it? Are you trying to get better? Are you presenting in the mirror and then asking your friends for feedback before you have to do some large presentation or a presentation in front of 5 people? It's Wealth is a Journey podcast, right? So what about budgeting? What about investing? Are you good at those things? But again, let's go back to the why. Why are you budgeting? You're budgeting, most people, because they want to tell their money where to go, and then they want to pay things down so then they'll have more money to invest later on for later on for their future selves. But the thing is, if you know that you're not good at it and you're not practicing, then that's pride telling you that I got it and you really don't. So let's not deceive ourselves into thinking that we all have it together when we know that we don't. If our goals are to grow, if our goals are to get to the bag, if our goals are to keep the bag, or if our goals are to tell the bag where to go, so then that bag marches out and brings back some more money babies, I call them. If that's the goal and you don't know what you're doing, then ask for help. And that's another thing that pride will do. Pride will not allow people to ask for help when you know you need it. So the question is, how do I get over that? The question is, how do I get over that? But the answer is you have to recognize that you have an area of opportunity, not a problem. You have an area of opportunity. So if you get like if somebody gives you feedback and then you instantly get that feeling like that anxious that feeling of it's like your heart starts beating real fast and I got it, I know, then that's pride. So that's one way that you can recognize that, but not just to recognize it. What are you going to do about it? So if you are again in your business, if you're a business owner or if you're starting a business and you're not as if you're not getting as many clients or you're not as you're not making as much money in your business as you like, look at if people gave you feedback, and if they did give you feedback, what did you do with the information that they gave you? And if you've done nothing about it, the time is now to start, right? Because again, we don't know everything and we need that village. We need those people, those accountability partners, our friends, our family, business partners, and things of that nature that you can receive from, that can pour into you, that's going to help you on your journey to grow, to get better. So if that aligns with your why, then everything that aligns with your why, you have to accept the feedback so you can grow. So hopefully my struggles, my story has helped you, and this is just within the last few months or so, and I'm still growing, and I want the feedback that's going to help me be better. Will my feelings be hurt at first? Probably, but it's okay. I'm a man. I'll get over it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, if we're trying to grow, we got to take the feedback, whatever it is. Once we get over our little feelings, then we'll realize that the information or the feedback that we got from that person or those groups of people was only for our good. So that's another way that can help you get over that is, who are you receiving from? And if those people that you're receiving from are people who love you, then it should be you should be able to receive that information a little bit better, and be a little bit less thin-skinned. So let's grow together, guys. Let's get over the fear of judgment, because that's another thing as well. Like, nobody wants to be judged, but again, if you want to get better, it's a part of the process. All a part of the process. So guys, we have some on this podcast, we have a lot of exciting things coming up. Again, I'm just trying to make the information better for you, so you grow. The information is free, but if you're not paying attention, it will end up costing you, and that's a fact. So if you have any stories or any instances where you allowed pride to derail you from your goal or your destination, put it in the comments. um I love to hear your stories, because I have plenty more, but we will be here for hours. So again, trying to make the information better, trying to make it uh better to consume for you guys, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to continue to put out good content. So we will see you next week. Again, we got some more and good and exciting things coming up for you guys. Wealth is a journey. Wealth is a journey. We will see you next week.